6 signs you're dating a toxic person. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how to know if you are dealing with someone who is toxic beyond repair. It's Sabrina, your personal love advisor from A New Mode, the channel where we show you how love actually works. Okay, if you're in this situation, I really feel for you because I know firsthand how hard and brutal this is. The thing with toxic people and toxic relationships is they don't usually start out toxic. They usually start out really nice. It's like, what's that analogy with the frog and the boiling water? Like if you throw a frog into boiling water, he's just gonna jump out. But if you put him into nice, lukewarm water and you slowly boil it, he doesn't even realize what's happening until he's like completely consumed and he dies. So that's basically how toxic relationships operate. At first, everything's great. Everything was amazing. He seemed like an amazing guy and you were really starting to get excited about the possibilities. But then it changed. And then this other side of him started to come out. And now you're in this relationship where you feel pretty miserable. You feel pretty terrible, but it was so good in the beginning and you kind of don't trust yourself. You feel like, am I the one causing this? Is this me or is he just a toxic person? And it should be obvious, but it's not. The line becomes completely blurred when you're in a situation like that. So with this video, I'm really hoping to clear up that confusion and give you clarity, the clarity to know whether he truly is toxic or not. So make sure you watch this video all the way until the end. Real quick, if you enjoy this video and find it helpful, please give me a like, subscribe to this channel for more relationship advice, and leave a comment if you have any questions, any feedback. I really love hearing from you guys. I love interacting with all of you, and I try to answer everyone. Okay, let's get into it. Number 1, he always needs to be right. He basically needs to be right, and he cares about that over finding a resolution. Now, arguments happen, and I think that arguments are very healthy in a relationship. And arguments are really the chance to either grow as a couple or an argument can really break you down and cause you to move further apart. Arguments give you the chance to work together as a couple. But the thing is, it needs to be you and him against the problem, not you versus him. And if every time you bring up an issue or a grievance or something you're feeling, he feels attacked and he needs to just shoot you down and prove that he's right, then you can never reach a resolution. Then you're just always locked in battle because you say something, he interprets it as an attack, and then he forms a counterattack, which makes you defensive. It makes you feel attacked and you never get anywhere and things basically just disintegrate from that point. If he just always needs to be right and can't ever accept responsibility, can't ever see things from your perspective, you will always be coming against a brick wall. And that is exhausting. That's exhausting. A toxic person just lacks empathy and he can't ever see things from your perspective. That's why he just interprets everything as being about him. Number 2, he gaslights you. Now, gaslighting has become a big buzzword these days, but not a lot of people know what it really means. I'm just gonna break it down to its simplest form. It basically means that he makes you feel crazy for feeling the things that you're feeling. A toxic person will usually do this if he's in the wrong. He makes you feel like the crazy one. So for example, let's say you catch him flirting with another girl, either in person or on text, and you say something. He'll go, I was just talking to her. God, I can't talk to a girl? Are you really that insecure that you won't even let me have a conversation with another female? He'll say something like that, and then all of a sudden you're thinking, am I really just insecure? Was I overreacting? Was it not inappropriate? I thought that he was flirting with another girl. I thought that was disrespectful, but maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, maybe I'm just insecure and needy. Yeah, that's what a gaslighter does to you. You question your own judgment. You question your own feelings. You don't even know, you feel like your feelings are malfunctioning. You feel like you just can't even trust any of the things that you're feeling. Maybe I'm wrong. He says that I'm wrong. He made a valid point, so yeah, maybe. Another common example of this is maybe he insults you. Maybe he even does it in front of a group of people and you get upset about it and he says, I was just kidding. God, can you not take a joke? Do you really have no sense of humor? Then all of a sudden you're thinking, do I just not have a sense of humor? Like, maybe he's right. Maybe I'm too sensitive. You just question yourself and he twists things around constantly to make you feel crazy and you feel like maybe you are the one that's wrong. Maybe he is the one that's right. You don't know up from down, right from left. You just get completely twisted when you're dealing with a toxic person. Number 3, everything is your fault. One of the biggest signs of an emotionally mature person is that they can take responsibility for their actions. If you express to them, you know, when you did this, it really hurt me, they can have empathy and they can see that from your perspective and they will say, you know, you're right. I could be a little more patient or I could be less critical. I'm gonna try to work on that. Okay, I'm gonna, make an action plan. I'm gonna work on that. An emotionally immature person will always think that you're the problem. They're right. They didn't do anything. If you have a problem, that's your problem. That's not his problem, that's your problem. Nothing is ever his fault. If you're upset about something, it's because you're too sensitive, you're too dramatic, you're too crazy, and you need to deal with it. It's not on him. You need to deal with it. They can't really understand why something may have hurt you or upset you. And he may even make you feel ashamed for feeling what you're feeling. He might make you feel like you're flawed or bad and that this is just a problem that you need to fix. This is not his responsibility whatsoever. If a guy can't or won't take responsibility or even try to see where you're coming from, that is a huge red flag. And the deeper you get into these kinds of relationships, the harder it will be to find your way out. So if that's what's going on in your relationship, you really need to get out as soon as you can. Number 4, he puts you down. A toxic partner is the opposite of a supportive partner. A toxic partner bashes your success. He doesn't support your dreams. He doesn't support your goals. If you do achieve something or have success, he just kind of dismisses it like, that's not really a big deal. I don't know why you're making a big deal about that. He's always just cutting you down or brushing off your accomplishments, and he's not showing you any support. He also may flat out insult you, and he may do it often. But the sneaky thing is, sometimes his insults aren't outright insults. They're cloaked in something else to the point where you're like, wait, did he mean that as a compliment or was that an insult? Maybe he says something like, I love that you're not that smart. It really is just so refreshing to be with someone who's not an intellectual. Or maybe he says something like, you know, you're really not as hot as the other girls that I've dated. It's a really nice change. Something to that effect. Something that like is said in a nice way, but is a really mean thing to say. He just kind of has this way of making you feel like you are never enough, like you are not good enough. Like you are lucky that he is taking you on as a charity case and he is in a relationship with you because he could just do so much better, and you should just be thanking your lucky stars that someone as wonderful as him has walked right into your life. That also makes you feel like, well, I can't let go of this situation because I'm useless, I'm nothing, I'm not gonna get another guy. He reminds me all the time that I can't get another guy, that I'll never be able to do better, so I better stick with him for as long as possible and do whatever it takes to make this guy happy. Number 5, you feel like you're walking on eggshells. So all the other points in this list so far have been about the way he behaves, but this one is about the way you behave around him. Can you be yourself around him? Do you feel like you can just be? Or do you feel like you're walking on eggshells? Do you feel like you have to constantly monitor your behavior? Do you feel scared that you might accidentally say something and that's gonna cause a reaction out of him and then it's just gonna be a whole fight? And of course, at the end of all the fights, you're the one that's the one apologizing. You're the one that's in the wrong because he gaslights you and makes you feel like the crazy one. So that's how it happens. You are just terrified of rocking the boat. If that's what's going on in your relationship, that means that you don't feel comfortable expressing your needs. And that's probably because he doesn't acknowledge your needs. He doesn't care about your needs. It's all about him. And if that's what's going on, then he is a toxic person and you should not be in a relationship with him. Number 6, he won't work on it. Relationships take work, and the work needs to come from both sides. It can't be you doing everything for him, bending over backwards for him, putting all the effort and all the work into the relationship when he just can't be bothered. He might say, everything's fine as it is. Why are you so demanding? Why are you so needy? Why are you always nagging? If you have a problem, then that's your problem. That's not my problem. I'm fine. I'm happy with the way things are. The most important quality to look for in a man is the willingness to make it work. That means he puts his all into the relationship because he wants it to work. He doesn't say that you should just shut your mouth and not bring up anything because he doesn't want to deal with it. He doesn't want to deal with you. You're bothering him. You're being too much. If he's not committed to making it work, then you don't have anything worth hanging on to here. The fact is, none of us is fully emotionally healed and whole. I'm not saying that the problem is he has issues, because we all have issues. I mean, I always tell you guys to work on yourself and how that's so important, but there is no end point to that. It's a constant evolving process, and it's not linear. I mean, you'll be doing great and then something will happen and then you're not so great and then things are great again and then things are better than ever and then you get knocked down again. There are always going to be things coming up in your life that you need to deal with and you need to work on. And with a toxic person, okay, fine, maybe he has things he needs to work on, but is he working on them? Is he dealing with it? Because if he's not, then there's nothing you can do. That's when he becomes something that I call a damage case. A damage case is a guy with a ton of issues who doesn't want to deal with his issues, and you think that you can save him by dealing with his issues for him. I'm sure this toxic guy has a lot of reasons why he's toxic. Maybe he had a terrible childhood. Maybe a lot of bad things have happened in his life. I sympathize with that. I'm sure you sympathize with that. But if he's not willing to work on it, then it's not your problem, and it can't be your problem, and you can't make it your problem. Because when you do, that's when you get into a toxic relationship. That's when you get into a codependent relationship. And that's usually when you end up with your heart completely broken. I know I know, believe me, I know how easy it is to fall in love with the potential of what could be, to fall in love with the potential of someone. I'm sure this guy isn't all bad. I'm sure there's a lot of good to him. It's not black and white. And that's what you're looking at, and that's what you're focusing on. But at what price? At what cost to you and your sense of self and your self-esteem and your ability to just enjoy life? Because being with a toxic person can literally suck the joy and the life right out of you. So that's what you need to look at. I hope this video was helpful to you. I hope it gave you some clarity. If so, please give it a like, subscribe to my channel for more relationship advice. Leave any feedback, any questions in the comment section. I read them all. I try to respond to everyone. For more relationship advice, subscribe to our newsletter, anewmode.com/subscribe. We send out a daily newsletter with amazing relationship tips, advice, personal stories. Follow me on Instagram @anewmode, and I will see you guys in the next video.